again. I have another lesson for you today. I'm wearing my friend here. I didn't mention last time when we were talking about cold and hot at the very end. What is this one? Cold or hot? Well, Willa would call this Daddy Bunny, but she knows, and you boys know too, that I put her in the microwave and to get her nice and warm because Grandma has a sore neck. And she's so warm and cuddly, but she's hot. I know even Malachi has told me that. Bunny is hot. So that's another example. Sometimes people put cold on theirs when they have an owie. And sometimes I do that too. And you guys have little ice packets in your freezer that are just little small ones, remember? You put those on if you bump your head or something, and that's cold. So sometimes heat helps and sometimes cold helps. It depends on the problem that you have, the owie that you have. Okay, this lesson is about words and math, both. Learning words and learning math. And it all has to do with eggs. Easter eggs. Easter is in the air. It's going to be Easter in a couple of weeks. And although we won't be able to celebrate it the way we always do together, we'll be having fun at home. We'll be looking for Easter eggs, maybe coloring Easter eggs. I hope so. Maybe having some Easter candy. And importantly, we'll be talking about what Easter means, which is that Jesus, who had died, came back to life. That's a hard, complicated thing to understand, and something only God can do. But your moms and dads will be talking to you more and more about the wonderful message from God at Easter and how he shows us he loves us by the message of Easter. Okay? Well, I'm going to show you some Easter eggs today, but I've done something with these eggs. I've written something on them, numbers and letters. And I'm going to show you what to do so that you can do this at your house. Okay? This yellow Easter egg has 2 letters on it. Can you read that? A, T. Okay? That's a word in itself, at. Can you think of a sentence with that word in it, at? When we went to Disney World, we stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I can't remember the name of it. Animal Kingdom Lodge. We say we stayed at. Okay? When Grandpa and I go to Gurnee, we stay at Malachi, Mason, and Marcus's house. So it kind of tells us where something is, right? At. Now, we can use that in a lot of situations. Those are just some examples. Now, I'm going to take the other side of the egg, and I'm going to make some words. Okay? There's at, and I'm going to put the egg together. And you can see that I wrote some letters over here. Okay? What did I write there? I put what letter in front of at? S. Now, that's a C. C can sound like a S, like an S, or it can sound like a K, K, like a K sound, like in Carolyn. That starts with a C. Okay? If I put a C in front of an AT, what does it spell? In this case, it's a hard C, like a K, K, at, cat, right? Now I'm going to turn my egg around. That was the C. Now I moved it to, what's that? A B, like the sound in boy or bread, butter. B in front of at makes B, at, bat, okay? Bat can be 2 things. It can be the bird, bats that live in the dark and have the wide black wings, but it can also be a baseball term, right? When you swing a bat and hit the ball, and I know you all know what that is for baseball, right? I'm going to move it to another letter. Here's the letter H, right? Happy, we just talked about that. Or hippopotamus. Here's an H. and we put it in front of an AT and we get hat, right? What we put on our heads. I don't have a hat here right now, but you know exactly what a hat is. Okay? Let's see what another letter can do. This at can make a lot of words, right? What letter is that? I know that all you boys know what that is because it's the first letter of your name. M, right? Marcus, Mason, Malachi, Mommy, Margaret. We know a lot of M's in our families, right? And then you put that in front of the AT and we get mat, right? A mat is usually like some kind of a rug or something on the floor that we wipe our feet on, like when we first come in the door of the house. Or it can be a placemat that you put on the table to put your dishes on when you're eating. How about this one? The letter S. Hopefully you can see that okay. S in front of AT, like in snake. At. Sat, right? Mason sat on the floor. There's sat. Malachi sat in his high chair. Willa sat on Mommy's lap. We all know that word, sat. Let's try another word, a letter, and make a new word. What's that letter? P, P, like in party, or pretzel, or peanut butter. P, p, at, pat. Pat can be a name of somebody, actually. I know some guys and girls named Pat, but it can also be pat, like good job, Mason. Good job, Willa. Give him a pat on the arm or a pat on the back. Or maybe you're patting your dog. Good girl, Lucy. Something like that, right? Or maybe you're baking and you need to pat your cookie dough down before you put it in the oven. Something like that. Let's see if there's another letter. Oh, I think there's one more on my egg, and it's an R. Like run or rabbit. We just learned about that in the tortoise and the hare. Okay? At. Rat. I think you know that a rat is sort of like a larger mouse. It's an animal with a long tail and whiskers, and usually we don't see them too much around here. But there are people that have them for pets. And that's another word with the letters AT. Okay? You can do this at home. Have mommies make an egg for you and then add some letters, or maybe she'll make a whole thing and then you can practice spelling the words. Here's another example. A, instead of T, this time I have a P. Okay? AP. My A has a little bit of a tail on it, but that's supposed to be an AP. Okay. All right, let's start with this letter. We put this letter in front. T, t. Like tick-tock goes the clock. Or tomorrow, tomorrow. A-P. Tap. 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 Or maybe someone's tapping on your door. Someone's here tapping on your door. Here's another letter. Again. Wrap. Wrap, there's a couple words that are spelled that have the sound of wrap. One is when you're wrapping your packages, like you're wrapping a package for Christmas present or birthday present. That has an extra letter in it that is a W before the R-A-P. So that's not the one we're going to talk, or the words we're going to talk about. But there's two meanings for this word, R-A-P. One is similar to tapping on the door, but maybe hitting a little harder, is rapping on the door to try to get attention, rap on something. Or maybe someone has a stick and raps it on the table and says, listen everybody, I got something special to tell you. It can also mean a type of music. Some of you know the musical Hamilton. I know the boys do. And there's a lot of songs in there that would be considered rap song. I'm not throwing away my shot. And what's your name, boy? Alexander Hamilton. You know, I don't have to do the whole songs, but the way the beat and the music and the way you express your sounds and the background noises is rap music. So there's rap. How about the next letter? S. Again, that S sound like sunshine. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sap. Now there's a word you don't hear too much, but sap is inside of a tree, and it helps keep the tree alive. It's like their water, their juice that helps keep them healthy. And when we make maple syrup, which we pour all over our pancakes or our Mickey Mouse waffles, we make it from sap from a maple tree. And you'll learn about that more as you get older, but it's really fascinating how it all works. I would love to tell you about that. I teach about it in my class at school. Okay, here's one that you all know, the letter N, like in the word no or nothing. N, and here's AP, nap. That's something that moms like children to take because they know it's good for them. They know they feel better when they wake up from a nap. They know that it's healthy for them to get a nap. And mommies and daddies need naps sometimes too, and grandmas and grandpas. So nap is another word. And we're going to go to a letter that's near N in the alphabet, and it's again. M, like in our family names that we talked about. Map. Map. We look at a map sometimes to learn about other countries, to learn about where we live. If we're driving in our car or we're walking around Disney World and we want to find out, well, how do we get to that restaurant? Or how do we get to the Dumbo ride? Or how do we get to the Seven Dwarfs Mine ride? We have to look at a map, and it says go this way and then turn that way and then turn another way, and you'll be right there. That's a map. It guides us. Okay. Now we got a letter C again, like, and this time it's a hard C, like in Carolyn, the K sound. K, app, cap. Cap can be another name for a hat. It's more likely to be used for a man's hat. Cap on his head used to be used more often. Also, it can be like the lid on a milk bottle can be called the cap. The thing that you screw on the top, that's a cap. And let's see, we're almost there. The last one is a Y. It's getting a little faded there, but that's a Y. Yeah, like yes and yesterday. And yippee. Yeah. App. Yap. Yap. You know who does yap? Is when a dog is going, ooh, 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 ooh. It's kind of like yapping. That's another name. It's barking, but certain kinds of dog sounds are more like a yap. And sometimes people say when someone's talking annoyingly that they're yapping. Kind of a funny word you don't hear too much. But I thought I'd throw it in there. Okay, one more of these, and the rest you're going to do at your house. This one is E-T, et. And we're going to start with the letter L. Ooh, let. Let me play with you. Will you let the dogs out? There's some L words, right? Okay, here's a B, bet, et, bet. I bet you would like to go out and play. Or, I bet you don't know what I brought you for Christmas. Something like that. And here's a Y again, like we just had in yap. Yeah. Yet. Have you had dinner yet? Can we come out of our isolation for the coronavirus yet? Can we go back to school yet? Not yet. W. W. Now, I know Willa loves that letter, and she should because her name starts with a W. W. W-et. Wet. We just talked about dry and wet, and so I don't need to go into all of that, but taking a shower and then getting dry goes from wet to dry. And when I go out today, like I said, it's raining. It's wet out there. How about the letter S? Set. Set the table for dinner, please. That's when we put plates, forks, and napkins. I've seen Mason do that at his house, and I bet all of you have done that before. And if you haven't, you should try it. It's a really nice thing to do for mom and dad, to set the table. When your moms were little, that was Carolyn or Auntie Carolyn's job, or Mommy's job, to set the table. Meredith had jobs too, and Ellen, but that was one of Carolyn's jobs, and she did it just about every night. Or you could say, would you set that toy down and share it with your brother? How about that? Okay, here's another letter. P, p. This word you all know. P, pet. We have pets. Now, Willa says that Lily is her pet because she doesn't live at her house, but when she lived in Elmhurst, Lily was over there an awful lot. So she was like Willa's pet too, besides Grandma and Grandpa's, and Carolyn, Meredith, and Ellen's pet, because they used to live here when Lily came to us about 12 years ago. Lucy and Arthur are pets, right? When your moms were growing up, we had bird pets, hamster pets, guinea pig pets, fish pets. We had a lot of them, and a cat once. But we love our Lily pet now. Pet can also be a word of action. You could say, I pet my dog. You know, one of these, pet my dog. My dog loves to be pet around his ears or her ears. Pet. So it can mean a couple things. Here's a word that I know you boys have been seeing a lot of. Net. When you play basketball, you want to throw the ball into the net, right? Net. A basketball hoop has a big net on it. In the Fish Out of Water book, Mr. Carp jumped in the pool. Remember when Otto was so huge and he wouldn't stop growing? He pulled Otto under the water somehow and changed him into a little fish, and he came out, but when he went in a little bowl, but he came into the pool holding this tiny little net that he was going to use to put little tiny Otto back in the bowl. A fish net. And the last word is an M again. For Malachi and all those M words. Met. I met my friends for a birthday party. We haven't done that for a while, but we have done it before, right? You guys have had a lot of parties. I met my teacher after school so she could explain how to do my homework better. We had company, and I met my Auntie V for the first time. Well, it could say that when she first moved to Seattle. Okay, we're done with the letters, and we're going to encourage you guys to make your own at home and make the letters to go around the egg. Make your own words. And the last thing we're going to do with eggs is counting. This egg, I didn't write letters on. I put a number 5, and I put the symbol for cents, 5 cents. So what you guys are going to do with that is find money that Mom will give you and count with pennies and put them in the eggs. Each egg will have a label on it, 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever it says, and you're going to pick up that egg and put 1, like this one's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pennies. Okay? Now, in the course of learning about all of this, you're going to learn that there is a special silver piece of money called a nickel. And a nickel is a little different than a penny, of course. They don't look the same. They're both money or coins, but one is a penny and one is a nickel, and a nickel is worth 5 cents. So if I didn't want to put 5 pennies in, I could put 1 nickel in here and it would still be 5 cents. So you can do either one. But it's a way of learning, counting, and learning about the difference between nickels and pennies. Okay? Here's another one. This one says 10 cents. Same thing. Open your egg. This pink egg I have this time, and I'm going to put in 1, 2, whoops, I just put a nickel in. Let's try that one again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys can count with me. 7, 8, 9. How many more do I need? One more. 10. Okay? 10. And then I would put the lid on and say, I have 10 cents in here, Mom, Dad, whatever. Or we might learn that there's another coin that's a little similar size to a penny, but silvery colored, called a dime. And that's worth 10 cents. So if I put one of these in here, it's the same amount as 10 pennies, but it's worth 10 cents. Now you don't have to use these silver coins until you're ready. I think the best thing right now is to practice counting the pennies and put different numbers on here. 10 cents, 5 cents. This one says, whoop, my green egg says 12 cents. So I could put 12 pennies in, or I could put one dime, which is worth 10 cents. And then I think, how much more do I need to add to 10 to make 12? Well, when I'm counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then it's 11, 12. Two more numbers makes 12. So I could put a dime in and 2 pennies because they're 1 cent each. Okay? Again, you do whatever you're ready for. If you are a little older, you might want to try some of the other problems of money. But if you're a little younger, you're going to get there someday, but you're not quite there yet. Start with the pennies. Either way is fine. All I'm wanting to you to do is to have fun and be creative and learn, because I love learning. I hope you will too. Love you.